Did you know that there was an ancient African who calculated the moon? Not just any moon, but the moon of a different planet. Well, in today's video we are going to talk about this great mathematician and find out how he managed to do such a great feat. But before we get into the video, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And with that said, let us begin. This great mathematician was called Ibrahim al-Khwarizmi, and he was born in 780 AD in the Central Asian region of Khwarezm. His birth year is actually debated by historians. Some say it was 773 or 780, but we really don't know because records from that time weren't really accurate. Now his name, Ibrahim al-Khwarizmi, might be hard to pronounce for some of you, but it is quite simple if you break it down. Ibrahim means father of learning. So you have the father of learning as his first name and then al-Khwarizmi as his family name. The interesting thing about this name is that it is where we get the word algorithm from. Algorithm actually comes from the Latin translation of his name, which is algorithmy. Now what did our man do? What made him so famous and earn him the title of the father of mathematics? Well, one of his most popular works was his book called El-Kitab al-Muqtasar fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala, and that translates to the compendium book on calculation by completion and balancing. This book explained how to solve linear and quadratic equations, and it also gave demonstrations and rules to help in finding solutions. He developed the process of finding unknown values of variables by balancing both sides of an equation through addition or subtraction. And believe it or not, this process is still used in algebra classes around the world today. And because of this contribution to mathematics, he earned the name algorithmy, which again later became algorithm. But that wasn't all he did. Our brother also wrote a book on astronomy, and in that book he did something amazing. In his book, he talked about how long it takes the moon to orbit other planets in the solar system. Now, you know how we know that it takes the moon 27 days to orbit the Earth? Well, thanks to Ibrahim al-Khwarizmi, we also know that it takes the moon of Mars 687 days to orbit Mars and that it takes the moon of Jupiter, which is called Ganymede, 43 days to orbit Jupiter. Ganymede is actually bigger than Mercury, which is the smallest planet in the solar system. But wait, there's more. He also helped develop the Hindu Arabic numerals that we use today, the ones that look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and the symbol for 0. These symbols were brought to Europe by Arab scholars during the Moorish occupation of Spain. Before these symbols were introduced to Europe, people had to write out numbers in full words. For example, the number 123 would be written as 1, 2, and 3. Can you imagine how long that would take? And sometimes when they wrote out numbers, they would make mistakes, which could lead to arguments and even wars. You can just picture the scene. It's basically medieval times and two dudes are arguing over numbers and symbols. They probably had weapons too. It would go something like, "Yo man, I'm telling you, I had 123 sheep and you came in here and stole 45 of them. That leaves me with 78 and you ain't got no sheep." And the other guy would be like, "Nah, I ain't steal nothing. Your numbers are all messed up. If you had 123, how come now you got 78? That's 45 right there, bro. I didn't steal nothing." Anyway, with the introduction of these symbols, calculations became much easier. Sadly, Ibrahim al-Khwarizmi is not as popular as he should be. He was an amazing mathematician and a great astronomer, and his work has helped shape the world we live in today. So next time you are doing math, especially algebra, remember to give a quick shout out to Ibrahim al-Khwarizmi, the ancient African math genius who calculated the moon. And with that said, this brings us to the end of another very interesting video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. There's more interesting videos coming up. One of the videos that we will be uploading soon is about the first black woman to earn a PhD in the United States. Her name was Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune and she was a badass. Anyway, we are still working on that video, so we will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe.